Quite often when we start a new practice, especially one that is aimed at bringing benefit to our health, we start the practice and we continue and we start to see the benefits, but it's very slow progress. So we might see the benefits, but over time we get so used to the practice that we no longer actually see the benefits that we may have had in the first place. And sometimes we wonder if we're still getting those benefits. So I did a bit of a test or experiment with my Qi Gong practice and definitely noticed the difference. So let's find out what those were. Okay, so this isn't what I planned to do today, but I did this experiment. I started it 2 weeks ago and continued it for a week and a half. It's all I could actually stand. So I just wanted to actually talk about it because it might help somebody else actually, decide on a practice of Qi Gong or whatever it may be. Now, I do Qi Gong. I have tried yoga and I've tried Tai Chi and Tensegrity and Falun Dafa. But this applies to all of these practices. All of those practices that are energetic movement meditations. So they are meditations themselves, but at the same time they are also used to gather and build energy within the body. Qi, prana, life force. So I am a bit of a skeptic. Well, actually, not a bit, very much a skeptic. So I like to test everything. And I'll keep retesting and testing just to make sure that the results are either not present or there is actually something there. So throughout my magical practice, I have taken each thing and I do test it thoroughly just to make sure. So I can see the results for myself. I'm not one to kind of haphazardly give blind faith to someone else's belief. I definitely like to just go through it, test it myself and find out for myself. So I've been practicing Qigong for about 3 months daily, and as I mentioned, you kind of do these practices and you do them repetitively every day, and it just day in and day out you do the same thing over and over and over again. So the one thing is that you need to be cautious of is falling into that trap of it just becoming so normal that it just becomes the normal everyday rigmarole and you don't actually put the effort into it. But at the same time, doing it day in and day out, you get to a point where you don't actually notice the benefits anymore. So you're not actually sure if they're there because your body gets used to whatever it was, and all of those benefits that you may have seen in the beginning, just kind of you kind of forget about them. So what I did was I decided to stop doing Qigong for a week and see if I actually notice a difference. And boy, did I notice a difference. So it was last week Thursday. I'd been progressively kind of losing motivation, losing drive, not wanting to get up in the mornings, and things like that. So anyway, last week Thursday, I didn't get up. I switched the alarm off and went back to sleep for another hour. Now, it's not like me. I get up at 4 o'clock, I do all my stuff. By 7, 8 o'clock, I'm ready to work. But anyway, I switched the alarm off, went back to sleep for another hour, and then I got up and just completely and utterly demotivated. I was anxious, I was depressed, but my body as well, I felt like I'd been hit by a train. I had aches where I shouldn't have aches, and just complete downhill. anyway, I continued not doing qigong to see if it was just just one of those days where you're just having a bad day, really. So I carried on until Tuesday, and Tuesday I started qigong again, and I'll get to the big shift and change just now. But up until Tuesday, I couldn't actually get myself motivated to do anything. I couldn't get myself motivated to meditate, work, nothing, absolutely nothing. I was actually depressed. And so anyway, Tuesday came along and I decided, no, I've had enough. Let's do this. One other thing I actually noticed when I did meditate, now I have a problem with my left shoulder. Years and years of sitting badly at my desk. It's done, the muscles have actually pulled my spine out of alignment. So I have scoliosis, I think it's called. But I've always got a pain in the shoulder. And I did notice when I was doing qigong previously that pain actually it disappeared. But sometimes when I say pain, it used to be the type of pain where you just want to smash your head against a brick wall because you feel like it's the only thing that will actually relieve any kind of pain. I don't know why, but maybe it's just misdirection. You got more pain in your head than your shoulder. But anyway, so when I did meditate, I did notice that I couldn't sit for 5 or 10 minutes without the pain starting up, and it just got worse and worse as I carried on sitting. So I'd have to keep shifting and moving and trying to push my neck back and my shoulder back, and it just became completely distracting. And anyway, so Tuesday came along and thought, that's it, I'm doing qigong again. So I started doing the 5 elements form and noticed a complete and utter shift immediately. It wasn't progression, it was immediate. I felt better. I like doing the 5 elements form because it takes the 5 elements from the Chinese system and balances all those elements within the body. And I definitely needed to balance the elements because I was completely and utterly out of balance. So I did the qigong and I went to go and do my meditation and noticed right there and then the pain in my shoulder had disappeared, and it hasn't come back since for the rest of the week. So what I'd like to say is practices like qigong and tai chi and Falun Dafa and tensegrity and yoga, they definitely have benefits for your health, for your weight loss, for your muscle tone, for just generally the qi or the prana or the life force that runs through your body, building it up, storing it, letting it run the way it should run through the meridians and through the chakras and things like that. Because when we start to get out of balance, the energy just starts to get blocked and it can't run properly. So if you're actually doing one of these practices, then you start to actually open up the meridians and the vessels and the channels, and the energy, the life force just then start to run properly through the system, and you feel a lot better, and it definitely helps with health and everything else. I did also notice that with qigong for 2 days after Tuesday, I had an ache in my upper abdomen, kind of like if you would have done sit-ups after not doing them for a period of time, you have the muscle ache. So it also helps with muscle tone. The benefits are just vast, and I would definitely recommend doing some kind of energetic moving meditation, such as these practices. just to help you in your daily life, but also your magical practice. If your energy is moving properly through your system, then the energy that you're going to be working with in your magic and your spell work is going to be moving properly as well. You will become clearer of thought, you'll be able to concentrate better, visualization will be more advanced, and your magic and your spell work will become a lot better. So next week we'll get back to the usual stuff, and so I hope you have a great weekend. Cheers.